Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the 1804 Show, Chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is another episode. Hope you guys had a good Merry Christmas. And here we go. So usually I do my intros and stuff like that, but tonight I kind of want to give this story grace. I want to give this story respect because it happened on Christmas Day, 1951. A married couple from Mims, Florida, by the name of Harriette and Harriette Moore were assassinated by some cowardly Klansmen. And it just, no matter how many times I tell these stories, it would never get comfortable. Because at the end of the day, it's like, how many more stories are like this? And how many people fell victims to racism and prejudice? And it's just, it just really makes you mad sometimes, because all he ever wanted to do was just make sure that black people had equal rights in his state. And he was pretty much the first black man to die in the civil rights era, but he doesn't really get mentioned. He doesn't really get credit like that. And I feel that he was a pioneer as well, and just making sure that blacks were able to vote. And he also was like a big full-time person in the Groveland Four. And I'm sorry, y'all, my reception going bad. But he gave his life for civil rights and equal rights for everybody. And he was pretty much a rebel. He was not afraid. He wrote letters to the governor and everything. Yeah, just demanding equal rights for everybody. And that was a huge no-no back in them days. And it's just so sad, like, but I'm gonna pretty much be paraphrasing because it's just like, it's like now, like the more that I think about it, it's just really hard to tell this story, especially on Christmas. And it was their 25th wedding anniversary. So they was at home with family celebrating. Still had the cake, still had and everybody went to bed. It was both of them. It was his mother and their youngest daughter in the house. And the bomb went off under their bedroom floor. And, and it went off like around like 10:20 p.m. that night. And they heard a loud blast, and neighbors and surrounding relatives rushed to the house. And the house was pretty much mangled. It was destroyed. And they grabbed both of them out the house. And they was badly wounded, badly injured, and they was rushed to the nearest hospital in Sanford, Florida, where they could be operated on by colored folks. And it was bad. It was horrible. And the thing that really like pisses me off about this is that um, his wife was an accessory. You know, she was a former school. She was a former school teacher slash insurance broker, and you know, she was just really scared for him. She was just always warning him, like, I know your life in danger. If you continue to do, I got your back. I'm here for you. I'm here to support you no matter what. And the next day they get killed. Well, they get injured. They get bombed. He died on his way to the hospital. The husband died. And his funeral was held January 1st, 1952. And then she died the next day. She died um, January 2nd, 1952. She died of a broken heart. So the FBI and local law enforcement were investigating the murders, and just so happened through local eyewitnesses and informants of their Klan chapter, it was two men that was um, brought up for charges. One man by the name of Brooklyn and another man by the name of Belvin. And there was it was crazy because like they got their karma back. They each of them died later in the same year, and one of them died the year after the anniversary. So they couldn't be arrested for it because of the, you know what I'm saying, it's all about local, it's all about civil, and it's federal. So the federal government couldn't do anything because it wasn't their jurisdiction, but they ended up dying. One of them died of cancer. One of them committed suicide. But it was just so much during that time period because of the fact that they were like very brave and very determined to get their point across and get their rights and stuff like that. But it's just a shame that this man doesn't really get put as the father of the civil rights movement based on he showed up in the early 30s and stuff because he was really active in the NAACP, and he was the first president in that chapter in that state, and he went around and investigated lynchings and investigating police brutality, terrorism, hazing, vandalism, all that stuff. Like he really put in work, and it's such a shame how you not giving your flowers until you get killed or when you've been dead for over 50 years. But this happened, I would say, yeah, about 70, over 70 years. So I kind of bad tonight because this is really hard for me to really tell it in the way that I usually do, but it's just really unfortunate that certain people just don't understand or don't have the knowledge of these things. So I'm glad that I'm able to be one of those people who to tell their story and just appreciate what they done, appreciate the fight, appreciate the sacrifice, because a lot of our people sacrificed. And when I hear an idiot talk about, well, we're not our ancestors, we will fuck you up, and have no idea what our ancestors went through, and it's just a total sign of disrespect, and we the only ones that does that, while everybody else praise their heroes, praise their ancestors, praise their generals and this and that, but we just so quick to disrespect our public figures, and we need to stop that. And that's the end of the story, guys. That's pretty much all that happened. It's pretty much still a cold case, as many of them. So once I find out more, I would do like a part 2 to this episode. But that's all I got so far. Thank y'all who tuned in. And if you want to, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for future notifications. If you want to donate to the Cash App, I know y'all broke tonight because it's Christmas. If you want to, the Cash App is $, the 1804 show.